on the blog said, hey, I want to spell this myth. Richardson's going to be there. There must be free food. I don't know if there's free food or not, but it's a pretty good idea. The other thing I want to dispel is, I haven't heard anger. I've heard concern. And I know you're all here today because you're concerned about our state, and its future. We're all concerned, and we have a right to be concerned, because our nation is adrift, and our country is adrift. We have lost our core, because we've decided it is better to pander than to stand on principle. This country has some great foundational principles, and they're all grounded in a couple of ideas. That people have the right to self-govern. That's right. That's right. To live in freedom. And that we should live in prosperity. A prosperity we determine, not our government will determine. Because the bottom line is, and you've heard me talk about my beautiful wife Dee Dee, who's here, and my 4 children, I can tell you right now that Dee Dee and I know what's best for our children, just like you know what's best for your children. I want them to be able to live in freedom and become the kind of people I know they're capable of, just like you do. And we are not headed down this path. The path we are headed on now, for the first time in a very long time, we are in danger of leaving for the next generation a worse America than we found. And that is not something I can tolerate, and I know you can't either. I'm not going to stand up here long because there's a lot of people that want to speak, but I'm cold. Who chose this location? Fred Staples said earlier that one of the heroes from the American Revolution was Sam Adams. Sam Adams is a guy that has always inspired me. He's a rebel rouser. And that's kind of how I look at myself. And Fred was right. It does not take a majority to prevail. It takes a tireless, irate minority, keen to set brush fires in the minds of men. We are a tireless, irate minority who are ready to set those brush fires. I'm not here today because I'm mad at President Obama. I'm not. I know many people think I am. I don't like his policies. Seems like a nice enough fellow. But President Obama has not lied to us. Let's be honest here. He campaigned for 18 months that he was a big government liberal and a socialist. I said it and said it and said it on my program. People said I was being hateful. But folks, it's true. Now, I'm not mad at him because he said what he was and he is what he is. The bottom line here, though, is those of us who believe that we should have limited government that has a very limited intrusion into our lives, those of us that believe that, and those of them that proclaim it when they're running for office, we've got to hold them accountable because they have become the problem. When a liberal tells you they're a liberal, they're not the problem. My daddy said to me when I was growing up down in Florida, we had these beautiful flower beds, and the dog would get out there. You know, it's hot in Florida. He would dig up the flowers and lay in the cold ground. I'm sure you've seen it before. And my mama would come out and say, you got to fix this. And, you know, we did this day after day, and it got old. Finally, one day, I got angry at the dog. My dad looked at me and said, son, don't get angry at the dog. He's just being a dog. Well, don't get angry at the liberal because they're just being a liberal. They can't help it. But the bottom line here is those of us that believe in the idea of self-governance, where we are not dependent on the government is our ally, not our adversary, and that it does not have a right to encroach on our freedoms. We have got to step forward. You've done it today. There's a ton of y'all here. I don't know how many are here. There is a ton of you all here. And more importantly, you're not alone. There are 2,000 of these rallies around the country. Folks, it's all about what you believe. Is this country worth standing up for? Fighting for? One of the great liberals of our time was a man I greatly admired. His name was Tip O'Neill. He was Speaker of the House for about 10 years, part of the time when Ronald Reagan was around. And one of the things that Tip O'Neill said, all politics is local. All politics is local. All politics is local. If you want to change Maine or you want to change America, you got to change your community. We have got to put people in elective office who believe in the idea that this is our state, and our country. We will not change America by starting with Washington. We have got to start in our own town, at our school board, and our town council, and our selectmen. And then we've got to go to the county. And then we've got to go to the legislature. And then we take on Washington. Because if we can't win the little battles, we're not going to win the big battles. I got to leave you with this. How many of you have ever seen the movie The Untouchables with Sean Connery? I can't hear you. Sean Connery, who played the role of Malone, I can't remember his first name, but he was a great cop in the movie. And he taught Elliot Ness a lot of lessons. And every time Elliot would look at him and want to know what he should do, he would ask him a question. What are you prepared to do? And so I'm going to ask all of you all, what are we prepared to do? Thank you very much. Let's go get them.